All right, sleeve time. We are going to pleat the seams. So I've already marked them. And so here, there. Okay, excellent. I marked them on the wrong side, and I just have to match the seams. And I'm just going to poke this pin through so I can see if the bottom of the line is. There we go. So I just wanted to match that bottom with this, and I can match the tops pretty easily. And then stitch. Change back to my automatic back stitching because I'll need it. We repeat with each marking, and I use a pin to find the bottom, match the top. So I basically want to stitch through seams on both sides. And then repeat. Okay, I'm done with both sleeves. So we've got our pleats here and our pleats here on both sleeves. And we are going to go ahead and press all the pleats towards the back. So you can see I've snipped 2 snips here. This is the back part of the sleeve, and 1 snip, that's the front. So all of these pleats are going to go towards the back. That'll give it this nice look. Same with this one. I've got the 2 snips there, so all the pleats are going to go that way. And now, since that is the case, I'm going to match this back with that back. This is the back edge of the dress right here. And there's the sleeve edge. And there's the center where the shoulder seam is. And then we've got the front. So hopefully it'll all work out. In the meantime, I actually refilled 2 bobbins of thread so we don't have to stop sewing in the middle. And no, I didn't pin everything in between. we end up with a little too much sleeve fabric, then I'll be able to use the pleats to take it in a bit. I'm trusting the pattern on this. There we go. So, just a tad, but not much, and it's mostly up here, so where the stitching actually is. Pull it tight underneath so it doesn't get wrinkled in the wrong way. Okay, so in this case we've got this one. I didn't pin it down, so, and it was not staying where it needed to be. And I've got my one hand underneath here. It just helps me to keep the bottom layer of fabric from getting wrinkled and sewn incorrectly. A little more on top than I do on bottom. But it's close enough, I think we'll be good. Now we get to see how it turned out. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a wrinkle there. So when I have something like that happens, where for me it's visible, but the question is does it really matter? And for me, it's in the shoulder, it's in an area that I'm going to notice, and so it's going to bug me if I don't fix that. So got to track down my seam ripper. All right, found my seam ripper, so now I'm just going to undo just enough so I can make that fix. So I'm going to do just a, there we go. Now I can adjust the pleat. And again, using my back stitch, my automatic back stitch stitch, ready to go. So you can see, didn't take very long. Well worth that little bit of effort. But we are going to check it again to make sure that I really did fix it. There, you can see where it was, the shadow from the fabric folding, but now it's all fixed, happily. And at this point we can stitch on the other seam sorry, the other sleeve, just like I did the first one, where we make sure all the pleats go towards the back. All right, I actually wanted to show you, because there was just that little bit of fabric left over on the other side, it's probably going to be the same way on this side. So when I pinned these together, I made sure that the underneath fabric didn't reach quite as far as the top. Down here at the end, I've got the edges meeting, but if this sleeve fabric ends up extending a little over that way, it won't be any big deal. So I'll go ahead and match the center pleat, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, one more thing. I also went ahead and pinned both of these shoulder seam allowances down. In fact, I'm going to move that over just a tad, and that'll just keep this fabric from flopping around. So I almost sewed the seams going this direction, when in fact we can tell from these two clips that they need to go that direction. But I realized it in time and fixed it. And here I am at the end, as I suspected. There's going to be just a little bit of fabric there, and now I've had the extra evenly distributed on both sides. Part of the reason for that is the feed dogs on the bottom. They pull the bottom layer faster than the top layer. All right, here I'm checking my seams to make sure I don't have puckers on here. This, I see I puckered it, got a little bit puckered right there. So I'm gonna undo a short section and then check on my baby.